Welcome to the Slamming Door Sessions, a reality creation podcast where we slam the door to anything that is not our ideal. With your amazing hosts, Kristen M.F. Clark and authentic Cintia Serravalle. Join us in a radical embodiment of our ideal states. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Slamming Door Sessions podcast. I'm Cintia, authentic Cintia is my current state, and I'm here with Kristen M.F. Clark, and we are really excited for today's episode. And it's kind of a surprise for each other as well, because we have things to share that the other one doesn't know, so we're going to have so much fun. But before we begin, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And so, let's begin.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So before we started, I don't know if you guys noticed, I was looking down because what I was doing was looking at our, just what we say on YouTube, if you look at the description or whatever, or on, Anchor, Spotify, or any of the audio, what we say this podcast is about. And I just want to read that really quick because we created it so long ago. And it is really, truly what the Slamming Door Sessions is about. It's I'm going to read, a powerful and empowering podcast where we radically, joyfully, only speak from and embody our ideal states. The door has been slammed on anything non-ideal. Oh, and so for me, that was so cool to reread that again and to go, yes, in fact, we each have our own quotes in there. And one of my quotes was, why are you wouldn't ask how if you were already there, right? Yeah, if you were already that person.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
And it's so relevant for where we're talking today.
Yes, that's why I did it. I love it. So, So I don't know which one of us wants to go first with the stories. You want to go first, Cynthia?
No, you go first.
Okay, so back in January, February, March, both Cynthia and I were in a mastermind where we met each other. And even then we still didn't, we didn't really collaborate together until it was over. And and it was so awesome. But during that time, our mentor was talking about how revision, you can revise anything, right? You can revise your childhood. And for me, what I was, and telling the story is very relevant here. I grew up in, who didn't grow up in a dysfunctional family? Well, revise it and say you're in a functional family. You were in the Brady Bunch where everybody, celebrated each other, right? And for me, I was like, oh, yes, I want to do that. I'm going to revise that, my childhood to where Cynthia talks about how the youngest in her family is like celebrated like the king or queen, like royalty. And in my family, that is not what I've experienced. So I decided I'm going to change that. I'm going to be the baby queen, I'm going to be, because I'm always the baby of the family. The baby, I'm like, hello, I'm 56 years old. I am not the baby. But when I shifted to, this is the person everybody celebrated. This is the person everybody flocked to. Everybody took care of all the time. Not in a spoiling, but anyway, my world started changing. So the old other life I had, I never really knew my father. My father is a wonderful person, but he had his life and I had my life, and it never, interacted. And I always miss that, right? And I was just like, I would love, to have a different life. But from that space, it's not going to happen. So when I revised how my life was going to be, oh, my father was always so supportive. He always gave the best advice. Da, 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 da. And in the other life, my father never, ever, ever, ever invited me to go be at his house. If I went up there to celebrate a birthday or do some kind of family gathering or whatever, we had to stay in hotels. We had to stay at Airbnbs. We were never invited to stay at his house. Never. That is just not. And so again, that's the old man. So the new man that's arising is, I never made any specifications of what I wanted. I just was like, no, we're just always loved and always supported. And it just was more of a feeling, right? So my sister's coming in from Florida, and she's going to be staying up at my father's. And she's just like, I'd love to see you if you want to come on up. And at first, the old man was just arising with all these reasons. Why not? And I went, fuck that. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to mark that this is explicit because that's just who I am. I was just like, fuck that. This is my life. What do I want my life? What do I want the awakened dreamer, in my dreams? What do I want it to be like? And I was just like, I'm going to go up there. I'm not going to worry about the drive. I'm not going to worry about anything. I'm not going to worry. I'm just going to go up there and have fun. And so I called my sister and I said, yeah, I'll come up on Saturday. And she goes, oh, well, I'm not going to be there till Sunday. I'm like, that's okay. I can find things to do and I'll just play. And so I called my father and I just said, and now guys, my father's 96 years old and he is as spry and is, sharp as a tack as anybody. I mean, there's extreme longevity in his side of the family. His little brother, 90 years old, just climbed a glacier. I mean, they're an amazing, they're an amazing family.
Whoa, now I understand you, but a little better.
Yes. They always raise the bar for me. And that's part of today. I can't wait to tell you. Anyway, so I called my father and, well, first I wrote him and he goes, I can't email anymore. Just call me. And so I called him and he goes, he's all, hey, I would love for you to stay here at my house. And right off the bat, I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, he goes, there's plenty of room. Just plan on staying here at my house. And he goes, and it's just going to be you and me because my stepmother is not going to be there till Sunday either. He goes, it'll just be you and me. We're going to have fun. And I'm like, this shit really works.
I love it.
I know. And I mean, to anybody listening to this, maybe, for me, this was enormous. This was like seeing a freaking elephant flying. It was just, wow. And I loved it. And of course, I'm like almost tearing up now. It was so special. And I love these constant reminders that, yes, this shit works. This is you touching in on the real you. This is you allowing the amazing version of you to arise. And it for me, that was a big one. When I heard our mentor, I'm just gonna say her name. When I heard Candace saying, changing your childhood, I was like, ooh, that's a whole ball game all unto itself. And, at first there's like effort, and then I'm like, no, I'm not putting any effort into that. Like, my childhood was just wonderful, and we can do this at any time. And then it's so fun to watch the far-reaching effects that start happening, how your life starts shifting all the way around. And so I'm going to save my other news because I want Cynthia to go now.
Okay. Oh my God. I'm so happy. Like, I am tearing up. I am so happy for you. And I love it because there are these stories, that we tell ourselves from a very young age about who we are and what is possible for us. And when we start playing with manifestation and new versions of ourselves, and it's so fun. And then we go to those stories, that we've never touched, that we've never dared to touch, because in a way, maybe we're scared that maybe we cannot change them. And then you actually see that you can. Oh my God. Isn't that just like, it blows you away. It literally does. And I'm so happy, honestly, and so proud. Oh
you
my
just
God.
wrapped that up beautifully. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. And so today, what I want to share, I've been thinking about, and I think I kind of touched on this maybe on the last podcast or the podcast before, about true inner movement, and how you can imagine things, or you can do techniques, and you can do a bunch of things. But if you do not actually move, then they're useless, because the technique is not what manifests, is you being someone new, being someone different. And I've seen this in my own life, and lately, in my own experience, and I've seen it also in other people. And so I think it's a question that comes up a lot, that says, oh my God, I'm doing everything and it's still not manifesting. What am I doing wrong? And doesn't that come up a lot? And so I have a friend who was telling me that exact line a couple of weeks ago. And so, it's kind of a conversation that we've had a couple of times. And my answer is always the same, because you have not changed states. There's nothing that you're doing wrong, it's just that you have not changed. So until you change, your experience is going to continue the same. And she was like, but I'm imagining, but I am doing my affirmations, and I'm doing this and that and that and that. But by just hearing her voice and the way she was expressing herself and the way she was moving and the look in her eyes, you can tell she was in a state of kind of desperation, lack, and all of that, right? But and I was telling her, go into the feeling of the wish fulfilled, go into the state of the wish fulfilled. And she was like, I am in the state of the wish fulfilled. And, and you can, so, okay. and it is a very interesting situation, because I have the exact same situation. So in what she is manifesting relates to health, right? And I have someone else who also manifested health from a very difficult situation. So basically, it's someone that I love very much. And one day she comes and she tells me, I was diagnosed with cancer. And basically, they had given her a death sentence. They told her, it spread. There's nothing we can do for you. So we're not even going to try to and cure you. We're not going to treat you. So basically, go back home and do whatever you need to do. But eventually, you're gone, And so I was like, oh my God. And she didn't know anything about manifestations. She didn't know anything about law of attraction, law of assumption. She's never heard of anything of that. And so I told her, like, she knew I was doing things, and talking about crazy things, but she didn't know exactly what it was. And so I told her, like, would you like me to help you? And she said yes. And so I explained to her, start your day imagining the things that you would be doing if you were healthy, and try to get into that feeling, and try to live your life and try to go about your day with that feeling. And whatever happens, let it happen. But you just focus on yourself and how you're feeling inside. And so she started doing that, and a week after, the doctor said, oh no, actually it didn't spread. So we're going to treat you. And she was like, what are you, like, you told me, like, you showed me,
you told me I'm gonna die.
The images. But they showed you the images that the cancer was on other parts of her body. It's not like they just told her, they showed her things and blah, 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 blah. And then a week later, they told her, like, oh, no, actually, no. And so she was like, oh my God. And so she told me, I'm going to keep doing what you told me, because I cannot believe this, right? And so she kept on doing it. And all of a sudden, people who didn't know that she was sick, oh, okay. So they started chemo. And this is a very interesting unfolding as well, because what they told her in the beginning was, we're going to have to take off your entire breast to remove the tumor. And she didn't want that, right? Then it seemingly spread, so they didn't operate her. And then after that, they decided, okay, it didn't spread, we're going to treat you. But in between those things, the tumor became bigger. So by the time they said, we're going to treat you, they couldn't operate her. They had to give her chemo first. Okay, so she's not operated, she's going to the chemo. She started with chemo, They said, we're going to give you 8 sessions so that it becomes small enough that we can go ahead with the surgery. Okay, let's do that. And so she had the first, I think after 2 sessions, the tumor had practically disappeared. And so they continued with the sessions until the 8th one, and they didn't have to take her breast. It was like it disappeared. So the thing is, finally, she got what she wanted, which is she didn't want her breast taken off, of course. So this seemingly negative thing that happened with the spreading, it actually led to being too big, they couldn't operate, and then it disappeared, so they didn't have to. So it was funny that this seemingly negative thing was actually the perfect unfolding for the desire that she had.
Yes.
And in between all these, people who didn't know she was having chemo, so they didn't know that she had cancer, they started to come up on her, like at the, when she was going to get her children after school. People, like the other moms, would come and tell her, like, what are you doing? You look great. Like you look better than ever. And she was like, she told me that by doing these exercises every day and by actually moving into the feeling that she was a healthy person, she told me everyone would come and ask me, like, what are you doing? Not knowing that she was actually with cancer going to chemo. And she was like, you look great. And she told me, after all that happened, she told me, I cannot believe that the moment I had cancer was the best time of my life. Like, it was actually the best period of my life, because I was this person who was actually healthy, feeling great, had a great relationship with my husband. Like, she told me, had I not worked with you and learned these things, I would have been lashing at my husband, feeling like shit. Of course, when you are in this situation, you actually believe that there's nothing you can do about it. And they told you that, yeah, you're going to die. Just do your thing, get your shit in order, and then say goodbye. And so that is an example of someone going through a very difficult situation and actually moving into a different state. Yeah. And then the other example, when you actually think that you...
She did die. She did die.
Yeah,
she became a whole new... Yes, exactly. The old man died.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. And then the other example, in which you say to yourself, I am in the state of the wishful feeling. Why is it not manifesting? And you're feeling frustrated and blah, 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 you can see the difference in 2 situations that are basically very similar, like health issues, seemingly bad health issues. And one person is moving and she's going through all these difficult things in physical reality, but within her, she moved. And this other person who did not move. And what I think is the most important thing is to be honest. The most important thing is to be honest about the state that you're in. Because if you're imagining, if you are affirming, if you're doing whatever technique that you like, but you actually are not moving states, you're going to feel frustrated and you're going to feel like there's nothing you can do because you're doing everything right and nothing is happening. But when you actually say, wait a minute, of course this is manifesting the way it is because this is the state that I'm in, you can say that actually everything is working perfectly. Everything is reflecting the state that you're actually in. And when you accept that, you actually feel free and you feel secure. You stop feeling helpless because you realize, of course, I'm manifesting shit because I'm in a shitty state. And now that I am honest with myself, I can actually say, oh, okay, it's normal. Everything's working as usual. Now I just have to move and actually move,
Yeah.
Yes. And to me, that is so huge. That is so
Wasn't
huge.
That just so wide eye-opening for you? It was great. If you're in a shitty state, that's what, yeah. But I love how you're like, from a seemingly negative space, chemo and cancer or the most amazing version of her arose. And that this is why I always tell people over and over, there is no death. At least not the way you think it is. Yeah, you do die, but it's just that state that dies. It's just a state that dies. The state falls away and a new version of you arises. And and you can go into it kicking, screaming, and negative all the way around. It's still going to arise. You're still going to find the new state arising. But or you can go into it like she did. Oh, I love that story. Those are the stories that we cling to, right? That we use as the example of, well, this person over here beat the cancer. This person over here did it. And we love these stories. We love them. And they're so, and again, I'm going to bring up the whole awakened dreamer. In her dreams, she probably didn't have cancer. In her dreams, she was able to do whatever she wanted effortlessly. And so that's of course, that's what arose. That's what came out in, and I love that instead of saying in our dreams we can do this and in reality it's here, it's bringing the two together and just being one reality, one existence. Oh my God. And don't you feel amazing that you did that?
Oh my God. Because there is actually more, even more, because I imagine, and speaking of imagining lovingly for others, which is, what we've been doing with the, actually, I didn't share this story in the ideal world, but this is another story of imagining lovingly. Of course, I imagine that she was celebrating her birthday being healthy, right? And that she would send me a picture like, look at me with my family, I'm healthy, I'm celebrating my birthday. And she was actually like, her treatment and everything was finished like 3 days before her birthday. And it actually said like, okay, you are cancer free, like officially 3 days before her birthday. And she actually sent me the picture of, look at me, I'm healthy, celebrating with my family and cancer free for her birthday.
God. Oh my gosh. She needs to write a book on this. She needs to really, I mean, you know who Anita Moorjani is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She wrote the book, Dying to Be Me. Yeah. Yeah. Your friend could totally write the most amazing story. Oh my God. Happy birthday.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God. So what was the other thing you didn't say about when we were in the ideal world?
No, that story that I
that
actually
was it.
also
That was
imagined for her celebrating on her birthday, and everything came perfectly for that image to actually happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really does come down to, that imagination, and you already did it. I think Candice calls this like the Barbados. She just kind of uses the term Barbados as you're already there. You already did it. Quit talking about it. So my grandson's mother, I don't ever know what to call her. She's not my daughter-in-law anymore.
Oh.
I know. So I was like, okay, so my friend, she's been hemming and hawing about, and you saw this probably, this post. She's been hemming and hawing about she wants a new car so bad. And she's just like, oh, I get that. And I'm like, I love that I just heard you say you got your new car. I love that I just heard you say, and oh, it's so expensive. Now it's going to be more expensive. I love that I heard you say you got your new car and it was so much cheaper than you thought. And, and she was just.
Do you actually say this to her face?
No. Oh, no, actually, I did. She's on Voxer with me, and I did. I do. I send her back going, I love that I heard. And she's, she knows me. She's been around me for a long time. She knows me. And it's so funny how she'll shift with me, how she'll just suddenly, just shift with me instead of fighting and going, that's not what I said or anything like that. She just shifts with me.
She goes with it.
Yeah, or she just doesn't say anything. Because I just won't go there with her. And she's like, I need a bigger down payment. And all of a sudden I get a picture from her. She goes, guess what I just found? And that's all she leaves. And I'm like going, what? What just happened? She goes, I just found a winning $500 winning scratcher, lottery scratcher. And she sends me a picture of it. And I don't know, Candace just posted it because I told her about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's got the whole out of thin air money thing. And I'm like, oh my God, out of thin air. Freaking, she's like, it just appeared. It disappeared. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, of course it did. And she's just like, I'm going to go look at cars right now. And I'm just like, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, if you're in my area, let me know. I'm going to come down and do it with you. I want to go look at cars with you. And it's that even if the person is staying in the old man, you always have the option to see them as the new man. See them as the new man. And I love that Neville talks about how, you know, when you have to bury the old man, you got to make the grave really, really deep. Because the old man likes to climb out of the grave. And I'm not sure that's exactly what he said, but that was what, you know, he was talking about how it can be very persistent and you have to keep reburying. You got to keep throwing that old man back into the grave and cover him up.
Like you are staying like by the
side
of the grave with a shovel, right? Like,
I know. Damn it, I'm going to use concrete this time. You know, and it's so fun. And I love that. I love that yeah, you know, it's just, and we were talking about that last week with the ideal world, Yeah, the old man world might keep, you know, but you just persist. So I just signed up for my first half marathon. Oh my God. I know. And the whole reason, this is like huge for me. So back in March, if this is your first time listening to this, back in March, I did this challenge. It was called the 4x4x48. Every 4 hours, you ran or did something equivalent to 4 miles for 48 hours. You did this. So for basically 2 days until you basically reach 48 miles. But anyway, and see, guys, you got to understand, last time, yes, I've been very physically active my whole life, but the last time I did any running, and I mean even training, the last time I did any running was 2019, March of 2019. I have done no training, and I've gained 50 pounds. So there's no reason for me to even think I could do anything like this, and take it on. Plus, I'd never, ever done anything like this. I never ran a marathon. I never did anything like that. And yet I did 40 and I did it. And how I did it was from the space of, I did it. You know, even though it was still a month away, I did it and I had a blast and it was so much easier than I thought it would be. And just not trying to force that, just going into that. And I would train I never really trained. I just went out and enjoyed life. And sometimes I felt like running and sometimes I didn't. And I did the whole dang thing. I did it. So a couple weeks ago, I signed up for a 10K. Not because I was going to do it, but because I was just trying to support this lady who, you know, has the venue. And the day of the race came and I'm like, and this guy comes to my house and he's like, oh my God, there's all these people here. We're in a tiny little town. We don't see a lot of people here. And he goes, there's lines and lines of people everywhere. And I'm going, oh, I got to do this. I signed up for it. I'm going to do it. Even if I just walk. I'll just whatever. And I still was going into it with like, I did it. It was so much fun. And I didn't persist with that thought at all. I just let that thought kind of come up and go. And I was so excited to see all these people. So I go down there and I'm wearing like yoga pants and I don't know, I have my old ratty old tennis shoes and stuff. I'm not, you know, how many times do we wait? I'm going to wait until I have the right shoes. I'm going to wait till I'm in the right weight and I'm in the right space and my trainer gives me the okay and I've eaten the right foods or whatever. I wait. I was like, screw it. Let's just go do it. And I get there and there's so many people. And it's like, it's a real race. There's so many people. I've never seen so many people in our little town. And it was just so exciting. I got so caught up and swept up. And I met this woman just walks up to me and we start chatting. She's got a little happy birthday crown on and she's not in any kind of shape to do anything like this. And she goes, I was up here staying at a Airbnb and I heard about this and I said, I'm just going to do it. I'm like going, girl, you and me both. And, so the race started and I'm just walking really fast because that's me. And I get to a certain section and I stopped to get a rock out of my shoe. And when I stood up, I don't know if you could listen to Instagram, but there's this song where it's kind of like goes, run. And I swear I heard that. And suddenly I just wanted to run. I just wanted to run. And I'm like going, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm going. And I just, I was kind of just shuffling, jogging, and then it got faster and faster. And for the rest of the race, I did this. And I don't know where that effort, I mean, some people might say it was your second win, but I was walking. So second win, what? And I ended up jogging, running the rest of the race. It was fun. I came in second in my age group, but it was that effortlessness. And I'm like going, okay, now most 10Ks in miles is 6.2 miles, but ours ended up being 7.2 miles because they misunderstood they screwed up, but that's okay. And again, I was like, that was easy. It was easy. And I knew, I'm like, I could do a half marathon. That's only 5 miles more. I could do a half marathon easy. So I signed up. But it's all about, for me, it's that it's not suddenly going, okay, I got to shift and become a whole new person. And I got to train every day and I got to start running and I got to That's not who signed up for the half marathon. The person who signed up is the person who's like going, I can see myself doing this. This is easy. This is fun. What if I walk the whole thing? Okay. What if I run the whole thing? Okay. It's that awakened dreamer. In my dreams, I can run a marathon easy. And there's no effort. I'm not huffing and puffing and I don't feel gravity. And, my feet don't hurt. In your dreams, there's none of that. And to take on this endeavor from that space, to invite the awakened dreamer to do the half marathon. On top of it all, I've taken on carnivore, the carnivore lifestyle, the carnivore diet.
What it is? What is it?
What it is. The carnivore diet is you only eat meat. You don't, no plants, no nothing like that. So I know. And, it's like everybody, I want to approach life from such a radical space to show people you can do anything, and I did keto. The keto diet is it's high fat, medium meat, and very, very, very low any kind of carbohydrates, complex veggies or whatever. And I did that back in 2019 and it was amazing. I felt amazing. It was fantastic, but I was doing that diet from the space of everything is broken. This is going to fix it. Mm-hmm. This time around, I'm doing it from the space of, because I'm choosing to, because I want to take on something so radical and it's going to make me feel just amazing. And I know I'm going to feel amazing. And I'm going to tell you, I feel amazing. And I'm so excited to be a 56-year-old grandmother who can do a half marathon as a carnivore. Because there are people out there that are doing it and they're breaking the molds. And the whole carnivore movement, diet, all of that is, if you were to go into the YouTube videos and stuff, it's a whole world. There are people who are, curing cancer, really bad physical stuff. And there's me on the sidelines going, yeah, the carnivore didn't do that. You just let it do that. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And bottom line, I just love meat. I I just love meat, and I've been looking for an excuse not to eat any veggies anymore since I was a little girl. There's my distinct memories of my mother going, "Eat your vegetables," and me going, "You're going to sit there all night until you eat those vegetables," you know? And I'm like, you can't make me do that anymore. You can't make me do that anymore. I love meat. And there's the whole old man world over here where meat is bad and saturated fats and cholesterol and you're going to die and you got to have fiber. La, la, la. And there's this whole new man world over here where, there are 3 doctors that have written 3 books on how amazing this is. And it actually, there's that thumbs up. See,
you really like me.
I know. And that's the universe going, you're right on track. And I as a nutritionalist and everything, I came from the world where telling everybody about how this is the answer to the universe, this is how you're going to get healthy and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that's not who I am. I don't need to do that. It's just the excuse that I get to eat meat. But it's so fun. It is just so fun to, it's like I could go into this diet, this new endeavor from the space of, oh, everybody's going to be attacking me. Everybody's going to be going, oh, you can't do that. Or I can do it from the space of everybody's going, oh, I heard about that. How do you feel? Are you having fun? Do you like it? Is this why you look so good? Yeah, it's always just, I love it. I love the whole endeavors. Go ahead.
And I am just going to say that, oh my God, the subject of food is so interesting. And I love how you can see, all these stories about how eating vegetables is so good and then eating meat is so bad. And now this new world of people that's saying like, oh no, actually eating meat is so good and it's curing cancer and it's doing all things. And the stories that we attach to food. And I was listening to an interview of Joe Dispenza talking about sugar, and how there were these studies of people eating sugar and getting, and being told like, oh, sugar is not good for you. And then having bad side effects. And then other people that were told like, actually eating sugar is good. And they would have good side effects of eating sugar. And so, oh my God, it's like whatever story you attach or whatever meaning you attach or whatever beliefs you attach to whatever you're eating is actually what has the positive or negative effects, right? And so it is so much fun to see that now people are coming up with these stories of like, yeah, meat cures cancer, and then people are actually getting better by eating meat.
God.
So yeah,
it is so amazing to see the stories that are coming up. And you're so right, because let's go back to that Doctor Strange movie where they're going through different, did you watch it yet?
No, not yet.
Where they're going through different universes. And in this universe, you can eat sugar and it's healthy for you. And and this is, again, I love when life just brings up these offers and goes, you want to play there? You want to play there? And whether it's through a movie or whatever. But yeah, because I can remember, see now, and again, there's so many, I call them sandboxes. There's just so many places to play in. And the sandbox of carnivore, you could go deep into, they're doing studies where they find that plants put out these things called oxidizing or whatever. And that plants can actually cause problems, because number one, if you ever watch like a caterpillar eating a plant, the plant will put out a toxin to try and save itself. Plants don't want to die. We don't want to die. We don't want to be eaten, and then, so that's a whole world. That's a whole sandbox unto itself. And I'm like going, yeah, no, I don't want to play there. I used to be vegetarian. I was vegetarian for 15 years. I was fine. You got these vegetarians that are coming up going, oh, no, I had this problem, that problem, this problem. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to play in that world. I loved every version of who I've ever been. I love every option that's ever arose. And I love this one. And my girlfriend actually has been carnivore. I mean, this is zero carbohydrates, zero. They'd eat zero, only animal-based products. And she's been a carnivore for this year will be 15 years. And she's one of the big, she's like one of the celebrities. And
the OG.
Yeah, I know, right? And she's so funny because she's just like so over all the fighting, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. And she always laughs at me because every year she will be talking. She goes, "Are you carnivore yet?" And I'm like, no. But the coolest thing is every year I've ever tried to do this, I've always backed off of it because my body will have some explosive, we won't go into details, but some explosive reactions where the toilet is my best friend. And so I'm always like, no, I can't. But this time around, I was like, you know what? I actually have that from a normal diet, and it's carnivore that stopped that. And that's the experience I'm having this time. The other night, all I ate was this big ass ribeye. And in the past, I would have been running to the bathroom. No, this time around, I was fine. I felt great. We are the operant power. We are the operant power. We give all the properties to everything, whether it be sugar, whether it be carbohydrates or whatever. We are the operant power. We are the ones sitting. There are so many people out there that don't even know a carbohydrate from a protein or a fat. And they're like, what? What? Where, like you going, what is carnivore? Yeah. And it doesn't exist until you play that game. It doesn't, the problems with when I was a little kid, I could eat Twinkies all day long and be fine. Sugar, cake, cupcakes, whatever. I was fine. I was skinny. I had more energy than you knew what to do with. I was fine. And I just love the availability at all times for us to create an ideal world, and in a world where, you
always see perfection,
Yes.
Wherever you look at. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, the awakened dreamer. In my dreams, I can eat whatever I want. It's not a problem. And in my dreams, I'm always thin and healthy. The funny thing is, in my dreams, I'm always the person I feel and hear, not the person I see in the mirror, the person I feel, because you hear people say all the time, I don't feel like what I'm seeing. I feel strong, like older people. They're like, I don't feel old. My body might look this way, but that's not how I feel inside. Inside, I feel, and it's like, that's the dreamer, because that's who you are in your dreams. You're that person you feel, that vibrantly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, at least.
Did you have another story? Because you said there was a family one.
No. Two. Oh. I only had two stories.
The two stories. I just love it. Life never slows down or stops. It just is. It's every day. It's something new. It's some new, invitation. So I was saying the other day, a friend of mine was like, "Oh, are you gonna live up here forever and ever?" And it's like, the only thing I can say is I'm here now. This is who I am right now. And I'm so excited for whatever next is coming, because you're always got a new man arising. There's always a new man arising.
I was talking about that the other day, and someone was telling me, oh, you've changed so much. And I was like, what do you mean? I've always been like this. And it's so funny when you actually are embodying and you say it, that you actually think, but I've always been like this. It's so normal. And then this person was telling me, but remember this and this and this. Actually, the state of authentic Cintia. But remember, before you decided to embody authentic Cintia, remember this and this and that. And now you see the things that you've done being authentic Cintia. And I was like, Wait, you're right. But now that I have embodied authentic Cynthia and that I'm kind of moving to something else now that I mentioned before, I'm kind of moving into, let me play with wealthy woman Cynthia, right? And I am seeing wealthy woman Cynthia come up in different moments. Or actually, Kristen today was telling to me, oh, you look so fancy, you know? And I'm like, yeah, well, wealthy woman Cynthia, you know, wealthy woman Cynthia is showing up in different ways in my life. But now this she was telling me like, yeah, but look how you are now and how you were not like this before, but now I feel like, what do you mean? Like, I've always been like this. Like, and it's so funny because when you are actually in a new state and it feels natural, you actually feel like you've always been like this. That was such a fun feeling and fun realization. Like, wait a minute, no, it's like 6 or 5 months ago, I was not like this at all.
You know what blows me away is that the mastermind was 8 months ago. Doesn't that blow you away? Yeah, right? I know. I'm sitting there going, wait. I was laying there in bed this morning going, wait, wow. Holy cow, how are we in August already? But you know what I love more than anything is that constantly is this version of me that goes, in your ideal state, would you be asking this? Would you be doing this? Would you be worrying about this? Would you be thinking this? I love that that's an automatic, that I don't have to stop and think that's always coming. Because when I signed up for this half marathon, one of the things about it is it's a downhill. So of course I'm in the mountains, and it starts up here in the mountains and it goes all the way down to our first little town. That's all the way to freaking down the bottom of the mountain. So it's an all downhill thing. So that's a different type of running. And so they're making a big deal about how you got to train differently and how you got to and I'm sitting here going, no. Because again, if I was already an accomplished marathoner, if I had already done it, I wouldn't be playing with any of that. And I wouldn't be sitting here going, okay, I got to get up early and let's see, I should run this many miles. And I wouldn't be doing any of that. I wouldn't be doing it. I'd just be like, yeah, because that was how I did the 48. That was how I did the 10K. I mean, the 10K, I didn't even, like I said, I was in my radial shoes. I was in my yoga pants. I was not, I didn't look the part. I wasn't. And one of the things I posted was that I did it anyway. I did it. What was it? Oh, I didn't wait. That was what I was saying. I didn't wait. And I just had a picture of me at the finish line. And down below it, the title was, I didn't wait. I didn't wait until I had the right shoes. I didn't wait until I was in the right shape. I didn't wait until I was eating the right foods. I didn't wait until I had worked my way up to a 10K. I just went and did it because I could, because I didn't care. I was like, if I walk, I walk. If I run, I run. Whatever. It's going to be fun. It's just going to be fun. And that was the whole thing. It's just going to be fun. And it was fun. Because that's my life. Like you said the other day when I was like, I got something to tell you. And you're like, do you ever not have something to tell me?
Actually, do you know what? I feel so excited. And I'm like, when are you not excited?
I know. I just have the book reading. And I just, it just, yeah. Like I said, there's a reason I wrote a book, Living from the Gush, because somebody, and it was funny at my book reading, people are like going, did you make up that word gush? And I'm like, no, it's in Wikipedia. It is a real word. Gush means you're gushing excitement. You're gushing like water shooting out of a pipe. You're gushing, because that is, gushing also means like something forcibly exploding out, the gush, and I was like, no, it's a real word. But I love that they thought I made it up. I was like going, oh, that's fun. I like that idea. Yes, it's my word. Yes. And the funniest thing is here I am doing a book reading on my book, Living from the Gush, and gushing was happening all around me. It was happening all around me. People were telling excited stories. There was people outside the room we were in. You could hear the excitement of the people going, "Oh my God, I love it up here. It's so pretty." Blah, blah, blah. And me, I gush because that's just part of who I am. But when it was all over, nobody was leaving. Everybody hung out for like an hour after it was all over, just gushing about stuff. And I'm sitting there going, "That's the gush. That's the gush. That's the gush." And the lady who owned the little store and the little venue where we did it, I went in to tell her thank you and stuff. And it was so funny because the first thing that happened is she started, wah, wah, wah. She started, "Well, this is happening and this is happening." And I just sat back and I said, I can't wait till she gushes. She's going to gush something fun. She's gushing right now, something not so fun, but she's going to gush something fun. And she goes, "Oh, let me tell you," because what happened was a few nights before, a whole huge SWAT team came in because somebody called in that they were having alcohol and they didn't. She doesn't have an alcohol license. So this whole SWAT team came in. And I'm like, "Ooh, you should have called me, men in uniform. Where was I?" And she's just like, "It was horrible." Blah, blah, blah. And then, and I'm sitting here listening to her gushing like that. And I said, I can't wait till this turns into a fun story. And she goes, "Oh, let me tell you what happened from that." And then she tells me, that because they were so embarrassed that they got there in the whole SWAT team and there was nothing going on. She wasn't having alcohol. It was a bunk call. They're like, we're going to get you your permit. We're going to push it through. We're going to get this for you. You're going to get your ABC license. We're going to do all this for you. So I guess probably so she won't sue the county or whatever for the whole thing. But and so now she starts gushing that. And all I did was just sit back and go, this is going to turn good. I can't wait till her God self arises here in a minute. And I didn't need to do anything other than just go, I can't wait to watch. And here it came. And I mean, she just shifted. She just shifted on a dime and just started going into this. And as she was doing this, and I said, Roxanne, she goes, what? And I'm like, that's the gush. And she's like, but it was so good. And the guy's going to do all that for us. And I'm just like, she's been trying to get this license for over a year. And here it is, out of a negative. Pa-da-da. And yeah, I just love it. I love that there is no negative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just seemingly negative, but
yeah,
you can actually give whatever meaning we want to it.
It's just the old man. It's just the old man going in the ground. Just don't forget to use concrete instead of dirt.
Oh my God.
Oh, this has been wonderful. Oh, yeah. I love this. Anything else?
So good. No, I was just remembering, Jay, wow, instead of saying the old man, she said burying the old lady.
Oh,
that always made me laugh. Yeah. Burying the old lady.
The old lady. Burying the old God. Yeah, let the new God arise. I like that. There we go. Yeah. So I can't wait. I'm all about breaking molds. I'm all about just don't tell me what my reality has to be. And I can't think of anything more extreme than carnivore freaking marathon. I was like, let's see, how big can I go? And, hello, 56-year-old grandmother here who is not in any kind of running shape. Like I said, I hadn't run since 2019. And to just go, yeah, because I already did it. And it was a blast and it was fun. And that's who I am. I can do anything at any time because in my dreams, I can. In my dreams, it's easy. It's simple. It's fun. I love that. Ooh, I love that. And I can't wait to see what happens from here.
Oh my God. Yes. So when is it?
November 12th. So right around the guy. I know. And you know what was funny is my grandson's mother, she's like, her very first thing is, ooh, are you sure it's a good idea? And I just kind of smiled and I'm like, can't wait to see what comes from this. And this is on Voxer. And then her next recording is, why would I say that? You do anything. She goes, you can totally do this. You are totally going to blow us all away like you always do. And I'm like, there it is.
I
And,
love
again, what I love is that all I have to do is go, let's see what rises from this, and just knowing it, that it's just good. And, I say it over and over, and I remind myself over and over. It wasn't that long ago that I was walking by this property going, oh, I love that place. I want to know what the inside of that house looks like. I want to know what that place looks like. Boom. And there was a time not too long ago where I was like, I want to live in the mountains. I want to have snow, but not too much snow, but I want to experience snow. And I don't like really hot weather. And poof. And that arose from a seemingly negative space. And it just keeps getting better and better and better too. And I swear it feels like it's ramping up like crazy. Like it's gotten to the point where I used to be a person who was like, I'd have an amazing manifestation once a year. Now it's every freaking day. And it's multiple times a day. And, I easily could go, okay, who am I differently? What am I differently? What old God did I bury and the new God arose? Or I can just be like, nah, it's always been this way. I've always been this way since I was a little kid. And in that moment, that's exactly what arises. Memories that confirm that. Seriously, I can sit here and tell you guys stories for hours. Hours. And it's just, yeah. I am always excited. I'm so excited for this weekend because that's what I'm doing. I'm leaving tomorrow and going to go interact with my father in a whole new way. And I love it. I can't. Oh my God. It's going to be so amazing. Yes.
So excited.
I know. All righty, my dear. Well, thank you everybody for being here. And as always, we always issue the invitation for you to join us, whether you want to come on here live with us or you want to just write your own comment in fact, I just got a few comments from our podcast that was really nice. And I love it. We love to hear from you guys. We absolutely love to hear from you.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. And thank you for being here with us this week and can't wait for the next one.
Yes. All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.